Matthew Shepard was a student at the University of Wyoming. Matthew had been lured from a campus bar shortly after midnight on October 7th by two men, Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson. They led him to a remote area east of Laramie where they demonstrated unimaginable acts of hate. Matthew was tied to a split fence where he was tortured, beaten, and pistol whipped by his attackers. While he begged for his life, he was left to die in the cold of the night. Shepard died from severe head injuries at a hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado on October 12, 1998. It was widely reported by international news media as a savage beating because of his homosexuality. His murder brought national attention to the issue of hate crime legislation at the state and federal levels. This tragedy helped the nation wake up to the fact that hate and discrimination still lives in our communities, our schools, and our families. The 1969 federal hate crime law covers race, color, religion, ethnicity, and national origin only. It does not protect three groups that are mainly vulnerable to physical attack: women, the disabled, and homosexual. Because of the Matthew Shepard murder, a hate crime law was introduced. It was known as the Local Law Enforcement Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2007. It has since been renamed the Matthew Shepard Act. This law will expand coverage to include protection for gender, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and individuals with disabilities. It also provides grants to state and local communities to combat violent crimes committed by juveniles. It is to train law enforcement officers or to assist in state and local investigations and prosecution of bias-motivated crimes. It was approved by the House of Representatives by a vote of 237 to 180 and approved by the Senate by a voice vote. The President promises to veto the bill. There is lack of support in Congress to override the veto. When a youth is in need for comfort, seeking a sense of belonging or identity, hate group messages can offer a sense of belonging and purpose. This is the same way that a youth gang can provide a teenager. If they belong to a group that uses hatred, they would hate to gain a sense of connection or belonging to their group. By living in poor and disadvantaged areas, it increases the risk of crime for everyone. And these are the areas where ethnic minorities are most often concentrated. Hate crime is a behavior which is learned. It can be learned from our surroundings, such as our family members, friends, peer groups, or the media. Factors that may increase the risk of hate attitudes and behaviors to develop are: number one, economic problems and unemployment. Number two, rapid increases in immigration or changes in population. Number three, media stories and the perpetuation of popular culture racial stereotypes. Number four, the presence of active extremist organizations. All countries have different ways to approach and respond to crimes. Human rights and civil legislation are used in many countries while others use criminal law. Even though these may be significant responses, the roots of prejudice cannot be fully fixed by legislation and enforcement. The help of criminal and civil law can only work to a limited extent. Places such as homes, dinner tables, schools, workplaces, churches, and community centers are where prevention can have much a greater impact. Legislation can promote projects that aim to prevent the growth of hate by expanding understanding of cultural differences, to prevent entry into hate groups or organizations, to strengthen the services for and abilities of minority groups to survive and develop in the majority culture and society. They can work to change the attitudes and understanding of the majority population to broaden the knowledge of their society. There are some organizations out there working to prevent hate crimes. Organizations such as the Center for Equal Opportunity, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and the Anti-Defamation League, also known as the ADL. ADL has long been in the forefront of national and state efforts to prevent and work against hate-motivated criminal activity.